And that was what came across all over Europe, what came across and started seeping, in fact, into the American media. And so that was actually a strategic failure on the part of the Zionists. Of course, you know, when we have the internet these days, news agencies like CNN are trying to marry in some of their coverage what happens on the internet with what happens on what they're sending out in their news reports. Then again, they start to try and to merge the two, and so they find discrepancies in their own reporting. This is exactly what happened with the retraction of the 4th of November, that it was in fact the date of the ceasefire breakage. This was exactly what happened with the phosphorus bombing. Excuse me. So I think my voice is telling me that I should end there. And I'll be happy to answer questions at the end, and I'll pass on to Yusuf right now. I'm just going to go get some water.
Thank you, Zahi, and I promise I wouldn't be as long as Zahi. And I want to start by updating Zahi's information. Actually, the Palestinians are 11.2 million Palestinians worldwide. Over 7 million reside outside of Palestine. And I'm saying this because when the Zionists invaded Palestine, they came with the idea that they're coming to a land with no people, the land's going to be for people who don't have land. And of course, this doesn't jive, because all of us heard about the massacres since the 20s, and it continued up to a few days ago. Actually today, the massacre continued, and Israel killed 7 Palestinians. But to us, this is the price of freedom. I think we will not accept anything but killing and conquer from the invaders. And massacres is just a part of what the enemies do. And they do this because there is a resistance. And people will always resist their occupiers. They were resisted because people want to live in their homes. They don't want to give up their rights. And this resistance that started, as I told you, in the 20s and continues to now, is doing a crack in the Zionist idea. We see it as Palestinians that the Zionist idea is actually cracking. We see it in their building walls around themselves. We see it in every single action they do, actually. We see the idea of a pure territory for Jews. It's not happening in Palestine. And to us Palestinians, we will not do what the Zionists are doing. We actually decided years ago that we hold the higher moral ground. We are asking for a one secular Palestinian democratic state, where everybody who wants to live there can live there with the same rights and obligations as me, who have continuous history in that land for 6,000 years. Or as a Jew who just came 6 months ago from New York or from San Diego and decided that they want to live in my homeland. We're not going to kick the invaders in the sea. But the invaders actually are burning every single bridge they go on. They just keep massacring people. They're not making it easy for coexistence. They're not making it easy for establishment of one democratic Palestinian state. And I don't know why I know they're not stupid, but they should understand that as Palestinians, we are part of a larger Arab world. And Israel, regardless of how many weapons, nuclear weapons or phosphate or any kind of crazy weapons they have, they cannot survive in that region unless they make peace. And the peace is not going to be on their terms, because they are, after all, the cancerous cell in the Arab body. And so they have to come to their brains eventually and make peace with their rightful owners of the land. So, as a Palestinian, these massacres are sad for me to see, sad for everybody to see. But we understand that this is actually a part of the price we pay for liberation of Palestine. A price to pay for freedom. And the Palestinians are willing, and they will not stop doing and paying the price unless we liberate Palestine. What I want to talk about here is what can we do as a community here to help the Palestinians achieve the goal, achieve a land where freedom and justice reside, a one democratic, popular state. And I think the first thing we should do is demand once and for all that the U.S. stop U.S. aid to Israel. Israel gets over $11 billion a year from our tax money. I know most of you are not Arabs or Palestinians for that matter. I am a Palestinian, I pay taxes, and my money, my tax money is going and given to my enemies so they can destroy my people. So I think that the first thing we should ask for is stop U.S. aid to Israel. This money is being used even against U.S. rules and regulations. You know, the foreign aids cannot be used to conquer people, foreign aids cannot be used to kill people, but Israel is doing it. So call your representative. We have a new President, Obama. I think we should call him, we should write letters, we should highlight the issue of money. You know, money could be used here than used to kill and massacre people. And the second thing we should do is liberate our Congress. The U.S. Congress is an Israeli-occupied territory. Israel gets the upper hand, no questions asked in anything they want to do. While the massacres were taking place, Congress voted unanimously almost to support Israel in killing the Palestinian people, knowing that for the last almost 3 years, by the way, Zahir, not 2 years, the siege has been taking place. Our people don't even have fresh air to breathe. There is no food, no air, no water, no electricity. So the Palestinians in Gaza for the last 3 years been subjected to the worst conditions you can find. And I know nobody within us believe that Hamas is Superman, that they can withstand these 1-ton and 2-ton bombs. The U.S. Congress should be ashamed of themselves and not vote unanimously to support Israel's attack on the Palestinians. I think we have an obligation to call the Congress and at least ask them not to retract that, because they wouldn't, but to at least become human beings. This is on the American level. I think what we should do on everyday level is boycott anything that say Israel, that has Israel close to its name. Be it a bottle of water or a hose or a can of hummus. You know, they claim hummus is theirs now. You know, whenever we go to the market, let's look at the shelf, at the can or whatever we're buying, and see where this is coming from. And if it has anything close to Israel on it, don't buy it. Because next to it you'll see a product that's made in the US or anywhere else, and I bet you that tastes even better because it's not made with blood money. I have an offer for you. If you take my email address, if you buy that product instead of the Israeli product and you don't like it, send me an email, I will refund you the money. This stands anywhere, anytime. It's joinfpa@gmail.com. Please take me up onto this. We need, every one of us has to take a part in liberating Palestine and in opposing this racist bunch of killers that use our money to kill people. And this is the least we can do. It's really, really simple thing to do, but it needs to be done